So yeah, part 3. We've got a diagram. Usually when you get one of these, you get it like this, you should get a pinout diagram. Just tells you basically where everything goes. They're not always accurate, and you're lucky if you get these depending on what you get. They're all going to be different, so you need to find your exact board and then find the exact pinout for the board. Best thing to do is find whatever you're using for the flight controller, find the exact flight controller, and then go looking for a pinout diagram to tell you for what socket is what, etc. First of all, we're going to fit the GPS to the flight controller. Then we're going to probably do the camera setup shortly after that. The reason is I want to do the GPS first because I want to see how many satellites I'm going to get with it before I add the rest of the electronic equipment to see if I fix it any. If you're not fitting the GPS, just skip this part. We'll be fitting a buzzer and stuff as well. I decided to go for this. It's the HGLRC GPS M80. Look at that, nice little socket, which is good. I like. Probably gonna have to cut that. No, as if there's a UART you can get away with putting it in, pop it in. This is the top of any GPS, is this part. You might find lights and stuff like that under here and it looks very pretty, but it must go this way. This is the actual antenna to the satellites. I'm going to shield the wires as well at some point before it gets fitted into the quad, so we will shield them. I'm going to double check on here to see, but I'm sure it's all pins mostly. You might have a spare UART pin socket on your flight controller this could plug straight into. You'll be jamming and laughing. In my case right now, I don't think that is the case. I have one, and that's for the ESC. If I wasn't using the ESC, there's possibly a couple of pins I could have used. So yeah, we're going to have to fit this and then cut the lead and join it to an RX, a TX, a mains and a neutral. So then you want to get this chisel diagram thingy. You want to line this up wherever it is. And you want to look for a spare RX, TX, live, and then neutral. Sometimes I might even say for the GPS, blah blah blah. Put my glasses on so I can see. Sorry, I do a bit of live streaming when I'm doing some builds, and I was just quickly sorting that out. I do apologise. If I get around to it, I'll edit it out, but very doubtly. There's not going to be very much edit on this at all. You're going to see all the hurdles, all the frustrations, most likely. I'm done with that, that's fine, so we just jump that in there. just I can see this closer from up here than I can see the one on the bottom. Alright, we've got a pin out here anyway for the GPS, which is great. So if you can see that. Not all flight controllers will come with pins prepared for the GPS and stuff. They are slowly getting better over time, I suppose. And more so if you get a stack, you're more likely to get. Anyway, so that's great. Yep. Pop that over there on the road. And then make some room. Another thing is always remember, there's a gamma there. I'll get my wee pointy finger. I got it. Your RX and your TX. Your RX doesn't go to another RX, it goes to a TX. And your TX doesn't go to another TX, it goes to an RX. So make sure that your RX is going to a TX and your TX is going to an RX. And then you've got your 5V and your ground, of course. Maybe once something was mislabeled, which you had to swap the wires around, but that's usually always the case for 99% of the GPS's. Nothing great. So yeah, you want to plug this in, careful of the pins. You'll always see the pins that are at the top or the bottom, so if they're at the top, get the socket, look for where the pins are on the socket. Can I show you that? If this will zoom in maybe. Yeah, you see the socket, if there's pins at the top or the bottom, make sure you line this up the same. And then just pop it in. It's too big because it's the wrong end. So it must be this end. I don't know why, maybe because it's still going to a bigger U, I suppose. So yeah, it's getting cut off anyway, so it won't matter. Also, if you're using a mag, I suppose, or something like that extra, to pop that in like so. I'm going to fit this because I want to, well, roughly fit it, because I want to have just enough cable on it. Don't leave yourself too short of cable, and too much cable can be a pain as well, trying to keep your wires tidy. So you can, I suppose, just sort of pop that in here roughly, even pop it upside down for a few seconds. And see where the wires are going to again, of course. Before I do that, come around to the bottom end here. 1, 2, circle along. So in about here somewhere, which will be sitting at this side. So yeah, even there, I'll give you enough room to, because I'll have to sit back anyway. GPS I want to put in here on this mount, so it's going to sit in here roughly. I want to keep it tidy. Can we run it along the inside, the top, or the bottoms? Can run it along the top underneath. So you want to fit that on there. You want to run it, maybe give a wee bit for a couple of chisels here and there. And maybe if we need to go down and up, that'll be enough for sure. So yeah, you want to cut it there. Sockets are great, don't ever throw them away because they will come in handy. You can also take the pins in and out, or you can add extra ones and use it for other stuff. The way to do that is to get a little needle or a pin and poke it under. Each of the pins has a little leg. So you can get under that and just pry it up. The pin will pull out. I'll show you on one. Yeah, and there, just lift that little leg up. Oh, you can see that. Camera isn't that great tonight. Anyway, you want to flick that up a bit, and then you should be able to pull the pin out like that, you see. Same in reverse, keep the pin the right way, pop that back down. And you can pop them in as well. Pop. Just like that. There's also a tool for, just a side note, there's also a tool for making the crimps. I've got one here. That puts a little metal pin on the end. But you need the little metal pins and stuff, and then you put it in and then you ratchet it shut. Not essential, but handy. Anyway, these colours. Oh, on here, don't lose that because you need the colours. Where are we? Upside down, that way must mean. So what they've done is give you the pin out that way. Sticker matches the sticker. So technically that's your pin out there. The best way to check is to check the 5 volts and the neutral, and wherever they are, the wires are right obviously. So you've got your 5 volt on the end pin, your ground on the second one, you've got your RX on the third one, which is going to TX, and on the fourth you've got the yellow TX going to the RX on the flight controller. So yeah, let's get it done. Stickers are definitely keep a hold of ones like that because it's got the firmware version that's on it, I think. You want to keep that, so stick it inside the lid or something. It's got a target there, Fury F4 OSD. This is a Mamba F405 Mark II. I'm quite impressed so far, but I haven't used it yet. But what you get in the instructions and stuff like that, God, we've moved on so far from 4 or 5 years ago. Anyway, moving on. Arrow that way, arrow that way. Just check the sockets are line up so you'd pretty much know it's that way. So, like I said on the pins, you count them in. 1, 2. We'll go for the 5 volts first. So we're going on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 pins in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 volts. It's actually got it written on it, but I don't know if this camera will pick it up. Try and do a zoom. There we go. So you're not too bad for the letter and stuff, it's all there. Not all flight controllers are like that though. I wish they were. They're getting better. They're getting better. I don't even have any handy there quickly to show you what they could look like. I'll get one for the next part and I'll show you. I've got ones with nothing on them, and back in the day there was a lot of clone boards and some of the pinouts were different and stuff like that. It was a nightmare. But this has been a pleasure so far. So yeah, we know what the wires are then, so let's get these tinned up a bit to go on. Oh, same length. God, look at that, eh? It's a little bit on the OCD side, I suppose, but it's maybe just the way they were separated when I cut them. Keep it to the shortest one because you don't want to go too short. I left myself a little bit of line anyway. Now you can pair it with bearers, or I tend to find these small flimsy wires you can do with just your nail if it's sharp enough. Oh, that was a bit tiny. Do it just ever so slightly, just a little bit, because when this thing starts heating up with the soldering iron, the chances are it'll burn back a bit anyway. I'm going to tin these up slightly, unless I can fit them in. I'm going to tin them first. I'll jump back to that mode, I'll zoom back in a minute. Essential with clean soldering iron and stuff. I did actually the other day give mine a little bit of a clean. It was needing it for sure. If you got some thin solder, you're probably better using that. It's much easier to work with. It's a bit finer stuff. Good thin solder is the biz. The iron a little clean, it's not looking the best. I was using this to do some plugs yesterday, so it's a bit dirty. Oh, damn it, on the juice. Okay, I'm going to zoom you back in. Move this over, it'll save me moving this temperamental camera setup. It's doing the job, it's doing the job. Okay, we're going in for the 5 volts first. I'm going to check something first. The holes are quite big, so if you slightly tin the wire, you should get them in the hole to solder them, which makes life a little easier and it makes for a good connection for sure. So I'm going to try that, make sure the wires are sort of hanged up quite tight, because any sticking out ones it's going to be too big to slide in the hole. Not saying nothing. These are thin wires, they will take a bit of heat, but not too much heat, so be careful with them. Just want a thin layer of solder over them. That one's going to be a bit of a nightmare. Good try it. Snurf. As we said, the 5 volts, the grinder we're going to use is this one. Yeah, I knew that was going to be a pain. That one I'll get soldered on it. I'll chop the end of it down a bit. I could redo it. Aww. These ones I imagine should poke in there. It's done good. It's not all fault. That's nice. Pop it in and give it just a little bend over. Saying nothing. You'll find it easier to solder though. I'll keep them nice and neat and tidy as I can. That should flip around. I'll resolder this one. That should go in if I missed it. Let's find out. Not bad. So yeah, I'm going to give them a little tin up. Just put a little bit of solder onto the pads. Solder that twisted, just that'll do a little bit. The ones you're gonna use, which is the ground, this one. And the 5 volts one. It's not so good. pad, but the other one spread it a lot. Better. I don't need to get lifted with it. I'll probably be up here. And there we go. You keep me. There we go, they just got a bit stuck together. That might happen, they're very close together. You don't want two wires touching, that is not good. Or on the outside, so make sure they are definitely clear. I've got the microscope there, so I will be checking them. But yeah, that was a bit too close for comfort, a bit too much solder. Plus this is sitting squint, which will make solder run. It's probably the cause. But anyway, the pad's clear now, which is good. The pads are very close together on this. I could have done with a smaller tip on the gun. I'm going to take a little bit of that solder off, because that is quite a lot. It's so close. So yeah, see on this board, minimum amount of solder for sure. That looks good. Before I proceed, I will double check under the microscope. Thingy bob, it's always handy, I like it. I like to check shizzle. Perfect. Lovely. If I could show you, I can try. God, where are we? You do not want any of them touching. That seems good. I will check again after I've soldered them, of course. So yeah, back to our old diagramming thingy with shizzy bob. Really, you don't really need that, but it's good to keep yourself right. I have looked at it once or twice. So yeah, we've got the ground first. And this is going to be twisted around, not twisting on like going the quad or something, but yeah. Looks on the decent way GPS as well, actually. So yeah, let's do it. Ground is there, so I'm going to actually... I'm going to snip a little bit of that off. I'm going to just sit them on the top. In and out, baby, in and out. In and out, baby, in and out. I was going to try and put these through the actual holes, but it's very closely knitted together, the board. Day ones are anyway. So I'm not going to bother. It's leaving a bit much on that. I just need the heat. Maybe take a little bit off here. Okay, so then we've got coming out of the GPS, wherever that is here. We'll better keep an eye on this thing. This is the main one, where it's coming out of. We got the 5 volt, we've got the ground, so then that means the white is the RX to the DX. I'm going to shorten that ever so slightly. Yeah, that seems good. And then of course the last wire on here is the TX, which will be going to the RX. I'm trying to keep these as neat as I can, so I'm telling you, I'll not do that way. I do apologise if my head's on the way. Glasses for close-up vision. I'm happy with that. I think I'm going to double check because I just like to double check. It saves the pocket. See if I'm better about this time, hopefully. You want these to be quite good and very secure. Yeah, I think they're good. Yeah, they're well. Nothing's touching. Yeah, I like that. Good. It's hard to see because of the LED lights. And I'm trying to show the stream. Yeah. You get the idea anyway, yeah? I always like to check that to make sure everything's good. So yeah, the next thing is to plug it into a computer or a laptop or something, make sure the GPS is functioning, and if so, how many satellites we're getting. Then after that, we will do the receiver. Keep these bits if you can, like I say, you never know when they'll come in handy. I apologise for the music. It's running through on the stream. It's not usually as bad language as that. Don't remember, I'll bleep it out. Probably won't. Remember, I mean. So yeah, let's get a laptop and make sure things are seeming good. Hopefully it should work off the USB power. If not, you will need to power the flight controller somehow. But you can skip this stage. I'm only curious myself just to see the amount of satellites before and after I connect to the rest of electronic components, just in general.
Second guess where I've been every day. One, two, three, I don't know who else to be. 4, 5, 6, like they say I can't be fixed. 1, 2, 3, your attention's all I need. 4, 5, 6, don't let it slip. 1, 2, 3, I don't know who else to be. 4, 5, 6, like they say I can't be fixed. 1, 2, 3, your attention's all I need. 4, 5, 6, don't let it slip. I don't have any favorite, just give me any kind. Even if it hurts a bit, I think I will be fine. 24/7, all I do is procrastinate, procrastinate. My lesson. 24/7, all I do is procrastinate, procrastinate. Perfection. It's some sort of an addiction. They all have a prediction. I think it's just some fiction that I have an addiction, baby. That I have an addiction. 24/7, all I do is procrastinate, procrastinate. My lesson. 24/7, all I do is procrastinate, procrastinate. Perfection. 1, 2, 3, I don't know who else to be. 4, 5.
You wanna ride on my wave just because it's fun. You wanna be in my space, too close to the sun. Don't seem to care if it's safe. Well, that makes two of us. I'm so insane, and you like it. But you haven't seen anything yet. Now you're just beginning your trip to regrets. You might think you know me, but soon you forget. I'm too insane, and you know it. You got to learn to lie.